Welcome to another episode of Thugging It Out. Thugging It Out is a platform where we create a safe space to acknowledge, experience, and overcome real life issues in a positive and healthy way. Before we get into our episode, I want to first remind you to follow us on Instagram at underscore thugging it out underscore. And also, any moms who want to participate in an interactive episode on a panel full of mothers where we discuss the nitty gritty of motherhood, hit me up on Instagram or any social media you might follow me on. Now let's hop on in. Today, we are in part 3 of perfecting the process, which is learning and accepting what life really is. Life is a journey that can be lived in many different ways. Life can be fun, it can be devastating, good and bad, and everything in between. What we all can be certain about is that you never really know what you're going to get. Like Forrest Gump was really on to something when he said life is a box of chocolates. Sometimes you might get your favorite pieces, then you might also get some that you really hate and that you regret putting in your mouth. And a few they might have to take some time to grow on you, and some just showed you that you're not going to put that in your mouth ever again. It is simply the same experience that we go through throughout life. Like, it's full of surprises. You really never know what you're going to get. You can always make a plan. You can always have these intentions and dreams, but we all know that we will really never know what life gives us on a daily basis. Accepting that life is something that is just unpredictable can really help you maneuver through it. Also, accepting this allows us to always remain present, because remaining present throughout life allows us to truly experience each day and helps us to live life to the fullest. Too many of us get consumed with the past and overwhelmed by the future that we forget to just enjoy right now. I know for the past few episodes, I really touched on the anxiety and depression that comes along with life. And like I said before, anxiety and depression always comes from either the past or the future. Like, let's just really understand what it is. That people who suffer from depression, they more than likely are too consumed with the past. And people that suffer from anxiety, they are too worried about the future. So that's why I even said in the past, I think in the past few episodes, that you have to stay present. Like, in order for us to really maneuver through life and live it to the fullest, we have to remain present. Don't get me wrong. We have to acknowledge, experience, and accept our past, along with plan and prepare for the future. However, both have no effect on the present unless we allow it to. I'm going to say that again. You have to acknowledge the past. You have to really accept it, and you got to just know that the past is the past. And you also do have to plan the future, because you just can't live every day like it's your last, because who knows, you might mess around and live to your 105. So you have to come up with some type of plan to actually live a healthy life. However, both of these two ends has really nothing to do with what's going on right now unless we allow it to. So that's why we have to remain present, because by remaining present, we don't allow depression to take over our life, and we do not allow anxiety to fester. For example, a lot of us didn't have a picture perfect childhood. In our early adulthood, we made plenty of mistakes that probably affected our lives now. But newsflash, these past events has no control over today unless we allow it to come and fester in our minds, giving it power to dictate the past. That's why it is so important that you need to know and accept who you are so that you can remain present in life. Being present allows you to enjoy every day. It allows you to live every day and to simply take out the day to day pressures of this crazy world. And when I say live, I mean actually truly live. I know live can just be like, I mean, we live in our lives every day, but I mean actually enjoying every day, like every minute of it, because the present is truly a gift. Like I know we all probably heard it before, but the present is a gift. And you don't necessarily get it again. You have one chance to really make the best of it. You have one opportunity to just live on this one day. Because if you don't, it will eventually be in the past. And if you use your one day, you never really know what you're going to get tomorrow. You might not even be here tomorrow. So that's why it is so imperative, so important that we all remain present. Being present also helps you not focus on your future so much. Like having a plan for your future is okay, but in reality, it's a rough draft. It's a rough draft. I know we all heard the saying that make a plan and wait for God to laugh at you. And that's truly why it has to be a rough draft. No matter how hard we work or try, we cannot plan our future out down to the T. And that becomes problematic sometimes. Some of us get so attached to our future that we can't recover when life. Because we all know life is going to life. And that's really dangerous. For us to perfect the process, we must learn how to pivot. Like for personally, I always tell this story to Romeo. When I was like a teenager, my whole life's plan was to really be like the rich auntie. I wanted to be the single black wealthy woman who, you know, who just had the money to really live her life. Like I really wanted to travel the world. I wanted to do different experiences. And I really just wanted to be like uh I don't know really what to call it. I wanted to be like this chic, wealthy, down to earth woman. Like I wanted to get married. I wanted to have my dream wedding. I wanted all of that. But I did not want any kids. Like when I was younger, I did not want any kids at all. But now look at me now. I am a married woman living in suburbia with 3 kids now. Those are 2 different pictures. If somebody told me that when I was in my teenage years, I would have laughed at them and said, you got the wrong person. But that's why I say we cannot get so attached to our future and how we want it to play out, because we don't really know how it will play out. You can make all the plans in the world, but it's not guaranteed that your plans will play out exactly how you plan it. We must learn that life is unexpected. It's ever changing, and accept that we might not like it or enjoy the things that play out, but together it all plays a major part in us being who and what we're destined to be. Like I said earlier, we have to have some type of plan, which is a rough draft. Remember, plan, rough draft. Those 2 are the same for our lives. For example, my children have college savings account. Am I certain that my kids will grow up and go to college? Absolutely not. I'm not sure who my kids will be once they actually become adults. I mean, I want them to go to college. I'm planning for them to go to college. But you know, everybody is different. However, with this college savings account, it's really their money that they can decide what they want to do once they're 18. So if they want to go to college, here's the money for it. If you want to go travel, take a year abroad to find yourself, here's the money to do it. If you know that you want to be a business owner, you got a plan in this, here's the money to do it. So this is just basically me setting them up to have a head start in life. And like I said, this college savings account is a rough draft. It's not set in stone. Yes, it's a college savings account, but do I know it'll be used for college? Absolutely not. But that's why I'm giving it room for them to decide what it's going to be. And that's exactly what we must do with life. We must make a rough draft, We got to know who we are. We got to know what we want to be. And we got to know where we're going and make a rough draft. Like, for instance, people, you could have something small that you want to work towards. Like, your end goal in life is to really genuinely just be happy. Your goal is just to go through life happy. That could be your rough draft. So in your rough draft, you could create stuff, plan stuff to really help you at the end of your life say, like, I lived a good life. I'm happy with it and I'm okay with it. That goal is not specific enough. It's not it's not full of words, it's not full of process, it's not full of a whole schedule, it's not full of I'm gonna do this, and this. It's a broad goal. And that's what I feel like that's how we have to create our rough draft in life. Like we could just have goals. Not really, descriptive goals. That's goals that's we know we're gonna do this and then this, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. We could just have goals and we could just really work through life to try to figure them out, to actually meet them. And in that way, we're leaving room for life to life. We're leaving room for however we're going to get there, we will get there. We're not saying that you got to first go down the street. You got to turn a corner, go back 3 spaces, and then go in the door. We're not saying that. We're saying that I want to get to plan B. I'm not sure how I will get to plan B, but the goal is to get there. And that way, you're not putting yourself in a time restraint. Like, it's so many women out here that say, like, I know I want to be married at this age. I want to have my kids at this age. And I'm sorry to be the one to break it to you. You could want that all you want, but it's not guaranteed that it will happen. You might not get married until you 50. And you might not have your first child until you like 55. It happens. But let me tell you why that is dangerous. When people have that goal at 30, between 30 and 50, your life is in shambles. You're constantly beating up on yourself. You're constantly saying, what is wrong with me? Why have I not gotten there? When in reality, you're just not ready to be there yet. But you don't know that because in your head you had a plan. So you're looking at it like, I'm supposed to be here by now. But life lifed. And you're not going to find that husband and you're not going to actually get them kids until 20 years later. And that's what makes this whole trying to plan your life down to a T dangerous. Because if you just say, I want to get married, I want to have kids, if it's meant for it to happen, it's going to happen. I guarantee you that the whole process of you getting there from 20, 30, 40, 50 till you're supposed to get that man and till you're supposed to get them kids, you will enjoy your life. You won't be so caught up on, I supposed to been there already. I supposed to did that already. And transparent moment, I've been there. I know most recently I graduated and I got my bachelor's and I'm in grad school now. And for so long, like when I decided to go back in school, I was really beating myself up. I really didn't want to go to school. Like I knew I wanted to get finished and get my degree, but I was so upset because I'm like, all my peers have gotten there before me. Like I am, when I was 27? Yeah, I was 27. No, how old was I? I'm 29, so I was one of them. It was like a couple years ago. And when that happened, no, I don't know how it, don't get me lying, y'all. But that whole process of me getting there, I couldn't really enjoy it. Because I was so caught up with, I could have been here. Like, it was so many woulda, coulda, shouldas. Like, I got my associates in 2014. And me being overly critical on my own self, I used to always tell myself, like, you know you should never went back to Chicago after you got your degree. You know you should have stayed where you was at. It even went to the point where I was like, you know what? You knew I should have went to University of Nebraska, my first plan, by plan A. But I didn't go to plan A. I went to plan B. Like, it was so many that I was telling myself, like, I should have did this, and I should have did that, and I should have did this. Not even recognizing that everything was already pre-planned. Like, it was meant for me to go back to Chicago. It was meant for me to take that long break away from school. It was meant for everything that played out in my life to happen. Because without it, I would not be where I am today. I would not be the woman I am today. And it was all necessary. Like, life had to go exactly the way it went for me to have the wisdom, me to have the knowledge, me to have the content that I have with my life as of now. So that's why I say that make these plans a rough draft and take away the attachment. You can't be so consumed and so attached to your dreams, to your goals, to your plan of life that you really don't know how to pivot. Knowing how to pivot is really a superpower, and it's a necessity in today's world. You gotta know how to pivot. I'm gonna say it again. You must know how to pivot. And for people that don't know what pivot is, I mean, it's just basically being quick on your feet, being really ready to, being always ready to adjust, knowing that you will always recover is necessary. You got to know how to pivot, because that is the only way that you'll be able to go through life without any attachments. And just to be clear, I am never saying don't plan or go, or go through your life aimlessly, because that is completely reckless. I know when I was like in college, like years ago, that whole YOLO saying, you'll only live once. And it made a lot of people think that, like, we don't got to make a plan. We don't have to worry about tomorrow. We just, you only live once. So let's just do the craziest and off the wall stuff now. But I'm going to be the person to tell you this. You only die once too. So you have to be careful with the decisions you make and the way you live your life, because you don't want to live a pointless life. You don't want to live a pointless life, and you don't want to make decisions that could potentially end your life quick, faster than it's supposed to. Because I'm a firm believer that our lives are predestined, and we have choices, and based off the choices is where our lives will end up. So I'm just going to be the one to tell you, make sure you be conscious on the decisions you make, because you don't want to cut your own life short. Because I truly think we are capable of doing it. We can cut our own life short. We could not end up where we're supposed to be based off our own choices and our own devices. So like I said, I'm simply saying make a plan, but release the expectation, the pressure, and just know that the plan won't play out exactly how you want it, but it will always play out how it needs to be. Because life has a funny way of showing us that we are just human. And us being human means that we will make mistakes, that we will have times that are good, we will have times that are bad. Being human means that we will not know all the answers. Like, we do not got the answers way. Being human means that we make mistakes, that we will go through things. We will do things that we're ashamed of, but we have to accept because we're human. We will have the good. We will have the bad. We will have everything. Like, life is yin and yang. I know what y'all mean. It's two parts. It has to be in balance. Life will never be all good, but life will not be all bad. I just want us to really accept that life is like a scale. It has to always be in balance. Because, believe it or not, the good stuff is wonderful. You know, everybody likes the good, but the bad is really necessary. We have to go through certain things to help to level us out. It has to be balanced. The bad things teaches us valuable lessons. It shows us who we are and places that we need to grow. So don't ever think that you don't supposed to go through bad stuff or get upset when life, brings you bad apples to your front door. It's all necessary and it's all a part of the process. Like what Beyonce say, sometimes you get lemons and you just got to make lemonade. Like nobody really just wants to eat a lemon because it's sour, it don't taste as good. But if you take those lemons and you add a little sugar, you spice it up a little bit, it's worth it. Turn your lemons into lemonade. That's all that life is about. Life has a way of showing us what we really need, what we have to let go, where we need help, or even who we are. So the best way to get the best results from life is to accept the unpredictability. Accept that you do not know what's going to happen today, tomorrow, or next week. You could have an idea. You could have an intention on how you want it to play out. But it's out of your control. It is out of your control. Release the control. Really recognize that you can have all the plans, you can have all the wants, you can have all the intentions on having a good life. But sometimes it might not go exactly how you plan. That's why you must accept the unpredictability. And to get the best results out of life, you must learn how to be present. Really live every day one at a time. Go through life one day at a time, 1 minute at a time, 1 hour at a time. That's how you stay present. You can't be, today is Sunday and we're sitting there worried about Thursday. Now, I'm not saying you could plan your week, but don't just be so consumed about, okay, it's Sunday. Like on Norton when he was like Tuesday. You can't live your life like that. Because while you so worried about Tuesday, you just let Sunday and Monday and all of that pass you by. So by the time you do get to Tuesday, you don't even remember what happened the days before. So learn how to become present. But most importantly, begin to enjoy every part of it because it all works together. Like, I'm not gonna lie, your girl has been through a lot. My life has been filled with ups and downs, highs and lows and valleys and all type of craziness. Like, I done had so many different chapters and so many different phases in my life that some of them I'd be like, girl, you could have, you definitely need to tighten up right then and now. But I have no regrets. Like, one thing about me is that I never regret anything. I mean, of course, there's things and situations that I could have handled better and, did a better job with going through those situations. But I never lived life in regret, and you should not either. Don't regret nothing because it had to play out that way. And once you know and understand that everything that happened in your life, that it actually had to play out exactly how it played out for you to really be where you're at today, you just learn to love it and to accept it. Because life is life. Life is life. And that brings us to the end of yet another episode. Remember to be grateful, be blessed, be thankful, but most importantly, keep thugging it out. Peace.